Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
It is Wednesday, September 17th. Yeah, it's the middle show, BID this week. Dallas is in town for Red Sox A's. But last night, like as I was trying to watch the Red Sox attempt to score a run against the A's atop the Green Monster, while Dallas was perched high above us all in the broadcast booth for the A's, there was a happening within the baseball world, Dallas. There was a happening within the baseball world. I saw the first one, and I was like, all right, we've tied the Mickey Mantle record. We've tied it. But then I get something across my phone here, and I'm like, he just did it. Like the record that I kind of said, like, hey, like I'm into this. Like this is something that I care about as a baseball fan. Cal Raleigh hit his 55th and 56th home runs of the season last night in Kansas City. And we are now joined by Gage Stevens, who is a member of the Saddam Havens Society Against Dallas and Jared. He's a BID discourse member who caught the fucking ball last night. Gage, first of all, thank you for joining us on such short notice. I know Dallas was probably just like at the hotel bar last night being like, Gage, we gotta get you on the pod tomorrow, brother. It's gonna be sick, brother. So first of all, set the scene for me. When, like, how many people were sitting around you? Like, was it like a directly to you situation? Did you pick it up off the floor? Like, how do we end up with the baseball?
Yeah. So basically, I was at the game with my cousin and I, and we are on the Royals offer, it's called a Fountain Pass. It's now $50 a month subscription, but you get standing room tickets to every home game. So I was on that last year and I'm on that again this year. I think I've been to like 35 games this year because if you go to more, it's cheaper. So we were doing that, obviously. Kind of recently, Jayhay's guard dogs kind of put us down and playoff hopes are not looking so great. So we were thinking it's maybe the last homestand of the year, could be the last dollar dog night of the year. So we may as well make it out to the ballpark. So we went out there. We went and got our dollar dogs regular night. And we were going to try and find a place to sit. Obviously, with standing room tickets, we don't have official seats. So we were just going to go try to find a nice spot where we could camp out, not be bothered. Sometimes you can sneak into the lower bowl and do that and nobody will say a word. Sometimes they'll come ask and then you got to take it up top. But I was letting my cousin Noah, he was leading the way and he went and found an empty row, picked a spot. We sat down, enjoyed the dollar dogs. And I had just finished eating, was watching the game. But I know when it happened, my eyes I didn't see it come off the bat, but I looked, saw the ball up in the air. I knew the Mariners were batting and I knew it was kind of coming my way. I'm not like an aggressive guy when it comes to like home run balls or anything like that. I don't like to be like that. So, and I thought it was going to land way short. So I was like, oh, okay, it's headed out this way. But then I started to see it was carrying a little more. I was like, I may have a play on this. I need to be ready. It still was looking a little short. I wasn't going to jump the row initially to grab it on the fly because I didn't want to make a fool out of myself muffing the catch. But it did land in the row directly in front of me where nobody was. And even still, I was like, I'm not going to jump over somebody to get this ball. But there was nobody around. It was literally sitting right in front of me. So I just hopped over, scooped it up. At the time, I did not realize that was that specific homer. So I had it in my hand. Some guy immediately comes up to me, says, I'll pay you $100 for that ball right now. I was like, some Mariners homer that just put my team down? Yeah, I'll take $100 for it. He was like, you got Venmo? I was like, yeah, I do. And then a staff member came and tapped me on the shoulder. He was like, hey, I probably wouldn't give up that ball if I were you. And then I started to think, I was like, oh, who are we playing? Playing the Mariners. Where are we at in the lineup? Yeah, okay. Cal has kind of been getting close to some milestones, hasn't he? And then I was like, yeah. So when the staff member tapped me on the shoulder, I kind of put two and two together. I was like, oh, are you authentication? He told me no, that it couldn't be authenticated once it had entered the stands, which I guess will kind of be important later. So they don't have the ability. They didn't at this time have the ability to authenticate the ball like right as soon as I caught it, because that was the first question that I asked. But basically, he kind of clued me into what was going on. Told me which homer it was. He told me it passed Mantle, and that was when I was really like, okay, so yeah, I got that ball. So he told me, he was like, yeah, Cal's gonna want that back, obviously. If you're agreeable to that, what I'll do is you take some pictures of it so you can identify it later. I will take the ball. You can meet up with me at the end of the game, and then we'll work out whatever we want to work out. Some other Royals guy came up to me. He was like, "Who's your favorite player?" And I wasn't thinking. I thought he was like just thinking in general. So I was like, "Oh, all time or current roster?" He was like, "Current roster." I was like, "Okay, Salvi." Which, by the way, Jayhay, he will make the Hall of Fame. I want to make that clear. But anyways, so I said Salvi, so I figured they were going to come try to offer me a package of some kind. So then I kind of let the guy take the ball there, and he took it off. And pretty much immediately, I had about 5 or 6 people come flocking to me saying like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you caught that home run." And they were like, "Did you give it up?" I was like, "Yeah, I gave it to the Royals guy. We're going to go cut a deal after the game. Like, I want to make sure Cal gets it." Everybody's like, "You should never have let that leave your hands, man. That's $100,000 minimum. That's 200." The numbers people were talking were crazy. People were telling me to take care of my kids with that ball, which wasn't really something that sounded appealing to me. To me, it felt like a baseball moment that I was a part of, that I was lucky to be a part of. So I'm not going to use that to milk Cal Raleigh or whoever for every single dollar that they're worth. I wanted to make sure that he got it. So I kind of told those people, I was like, yeah, I'll cut a deal. I'll be compensated in some way, I'm sure. But I do want to make sure that Cal gets it. So rest of the game was kind of spent just tweaking. I couldn't pay attention to the game. Not that it was going well for us anyways. But we just walked laps around the concourse talking about what we were going to do. Obviously, people saying those kinds of dollar amounts, we were trying to figure out what we were going to ask for and not be greedy and not be rude, but something that's respectable to ask for. We had come up with our terms before we went and talked to the guy. We were going to ask Cal for a signed bat and then like some kind of game use gear that he was wearing, whether that be a batting glove or a sock, whatever he didn't care to part with. We were going to ask for those two things, as well as our choice of a signed jersey from the Authentic store, and then 2 season tickets for the Royals for 2026. I felt like that was respectable, with people saying that this is a 6-figure ball. The Royals disagreed. They said that there's no option at all to compensate for season tickets. They said that would never happen in a million years. Which, so I told them, I was like, well, and I was trying to explain to them, I was like, we all can recognize that this ball is incredibly historic. It's definitely going to be worth something. And then, so at this point, when I started trying to say like, hey, I do have an ask, they were like, well, the ball is not authenticated, so it's actually worth nothing. I was like, well, I know it's not authenticated, but nothing. I was like, I'm sure I could get, something. We kind of went back and forth. They really were trying to kind of tell me that I couldn't sell it, but I was telling them, how much I can sell it for, that's debatable, but I'm sure I can sell it for, at least something more than what they had offered for me, which I guess, so their offer that they brought to me was a signed Salvador Perez ball and then like some cheap little frame thing that you get in the Authentic store, which is cool. And I appreciate that, obviously, but it didn't quite line up. So I had said that wasn't going to do it for me. I had said that I recognized the significance of this ball. They said, if you leave the stadium with it, you won't be able to sell it for $10. That's what they told me, which I was like, $10. I can get $10 for it, but that's neither here nor there. I kind of told them from that point, I was like, well, then I probably will opt to leave the stadium with this ball because I'm not going to go for that offer. But I asked them, I was like, I want Cal to have it. That's what I want. The moment's not about me. It's about Cal. It's about Mickey. It's about baseball. And I really have no part in that. So I don't want to cause problems. I was like, can you put me in contact with the Mariners so that they know who I am? They know I'm the guy with the ball, and I can get them this ball for something that's agreeable and respectable. And he kind of took me down, and I was talking with some of the Mariners guys, which, looking back on it, I guess is kind of an unfortunate situation because the Royals have to make me an offer, but it's not their deal. They don't really care about the ball. So now I'm talking with the Mariners. Right. They had a bat, just a black bat, regular bat signed ready on deck there. So I assumed that that's what they were going to offer. But I kind of told them, I was like, we're not really on the same page as it stands right now. I'm thinking I'm probably going to leave with the ball, but I want to make sure Cal gets it. So I want to be in contact. Well, as we were talking, one of the guys kind of sneaks back to the clubhouse and is gone for a little bit. And then they come back out, and he was like, hey, so you drive a hard bargain. Here's what we'll do for you. Would you swap the ball, the 55th home run ball, and the discourse will have to fact check me. I believe the ball was the 55th homer to pass Mickey Mantle. They asked if I would swap that for the bat that Cal used to hit number 56 to pass Griffey for the Mariners franchise record, I believe. And I cut that deal. So I have that bat here. He signed it for me. Says thanks for the catch. Put the record on there. And I told him when I was sitting there talking with him, I was like, Cal, you're in Kansas City. That's a little bit close to the label there, brother. You can't go past the label with the pine tar in Kansas City. He thought that was funny, but he was really cool. It was a surreal experience. I was sitting there haggling, negotiating with the Mariners as Julio Rodriguez and Logan Gilbert walk by me out of the clubhouse. Kyle Isbell is playing with his kid behind me. Carter Jensen, who hit his first and second career big league homer, shout out to Carter, also walked by. So it was just awesome. I'm a baseball nerd. That was like a dream come true. It was super fun, and I'm really glad that I was able to get Cal the ball. So that's kind of the story.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I love that. You're just saying, I want to get something for it. Of course, like most people that would end up with a historic baseball. Yeah, I want to get something for it. But the main objective here is I want Cal Raleigh to have the baseball. It would never have gotten to the point where you're like, oh, I don't like this deal. Well, I'm leaving the stadium with it. I'm going home with this. There was no circumstance where you weren't going to give Cal the baseball. It was just a matter of I'm not going to let the Royals give me a bag of peanuts for this. Ultimately, a happy ending to a really cool story. I'm sure, this might be it happened last night. I'm sure this is probably the 30th time that you've told the story, but first time on a public platform, you'll be telling this story for the rest of your life. This is something that you will have to tell for the rest of your life.
That's what I love about this, man. That's what I like hearing you, because I could just seeing the picture and just reading the tweet, I could feel, I could sense. I mean, that's the only reason I reached out, honestly, because I was like, you know what? No, this dude, I can feel the love for what he was a part of. And I'm so glad that we got you on so I could hear you say those words, because that was legit. I'm sitting in the park at fucking 2:30 in the morning or whatever it is. And I'm like, no way. I can feel this dude loving baseball. And so to hear you say it out loud and it feel as genuine as it does, that makes me smile, because that's all I ever would want is for someone to have something that they were a part of, and it's a part of the game. It's a part of history. It'll be a part of your history forever. It's going to be a great story to tell over and over and over again. And I'm just so glad that there's a thread of sincerity and genuineness behind it. So congratulations to you, dude. And you better get something for that bat. I mean, I might even go buy a gun, go buy a gun rack and just put that in the back of the car and bolt that to windows and shit like that. This thing, I don't know, if you detach it and you start wearing it around like a samurai sword, that thing would never leave my fucking sight, straight up.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, Dallas. You're putting ideas in my head.
Yeah.
I got two quick comments too. I admire your composure. I think based on your retelling, I think a lot of people would have been swallowed up and intimidated by that moment. Any part of it. There were multiple opportunities for you to not remain kind of steadfast in what you thought was, quote unquote correct in this instance. And I back your play on that. I think you approached it the right way. And, the only other comment I have is that I think it's incredibly cool that you got a piece of Cal Raleigh memorabilia, and I hope to join you one day on that.
How about that? The guy who got Cal Raleigh's. The guy who got the homer ball from Cal Raleigh, number 55, Jayhay. He got a high five. He got a meet and greet.
No, Dallas takes care of everybody involved in anything Cal Raleigh related. So yeah, don't no surprise he got Gage on the pod here today.
Well, and you know what? It's even more fitting that one of the Hussein underlings gets to celebrate with their
Gage,
master.
Gage, let me ask you a question, Gage. Have you ever voted in the Family Feud for in the discourse? Have you ever voted in one of those?
Many times.
Yeah.
Many times.
See?
Yep.
See?
This is the minion meeting Gru here and being like, oh, good job. Good job. I'm glad you got the bat. You've been doing great work. Tell the rest of the fuckers I got a truckload of bananas coming. You guys are doing awesome.
Just an incredible dude to get the Cal Raleigh ball.
We're a tight-knit group.
Yeah, I get that, Gage. I get that.
We're a tight-knit group. I bet how many times honestly, have you voted for Family Feud and been like, good, fuck them.
Yeah.
I any chance I get, I answer with the most obscure Royals player that you haven't thought of in 10 years that you guys will never guess. Anytime I can, I do that for sure.
Hey,
we got to make it difficult on you guys. What, you don't like competition?
Hey, tell you what, pal, when I get to the Big K next year, that slap across the face, totally free on me.
I listened to that episode after the fact. I would have offered up for that. I definitely would have taken that deal.
You sick bastard.
All right. Gage Stevens, a member of the discourse. He's an underling of Saddam Havens, and he's also the owner of some really cool Cal Raleigh memorabilia. Appreciate you hopping on with us to tell the story, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for letting me come on. That's awesome. Being on the podcast gets me just about as jacked up as catching the home run does. So
Hell yeah.
I appreciate it. Best show in baseball.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
Thank you, man.
Have a
It's good to
great
meet
day.
you.
Have a great week, Gage. We'll see you later, brother.
Later.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, bro. Big thanks to Gage for coming on the pod, but I got to talk about the Underdog Fantasy app. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats like strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. If you went higher on 1.5 home runs for Cal Raleigh last night, you probably owe me a beer. At this point, yeah, I feel like we should be collecting from the BID listeners at this point if you're winning based on the promo codes that we give you. What promo code, you ask? The promo code Jared, Jared, to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. Shout out to Gage. That was cool. I mean, we've done a lot of like random impromptu segments in our podcasting lineage, but that's got to be up there in terms of like a historic home run hit to someone that not just is like, I've heard of BID, sure, I'll come on with you, but it's like, no, I'm heavily involved. Like I actively fuck over Jared and Dallas and Family Feud every week, and I caught the ball.
That was, I'm telling you, man, I don't know why I was compelled to reach out. I do. I think it was just, I could sense like how cool he thought it was, how much he loved the idea of just, like you said, just being a part of it. You know, like it's one thing to think you're going to get something cool. And I think him going through the negotiation was cool because Jay, like you're right, bro. Like I want to think that I would be able to like dig my heels in that moment and like really get what I want. But if they were like, hey, we might be able to get like a FaceTime with Cal, like sometime in the off season, I'd be like, okay. Yeah, here, take it. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Yes. And he was like, no, man, no, like I gotta get something. You know, I don't want the world. I'm not asking for a lot. I felt like the ask was more than enough. Was totally fine, totally fair. And sucks to hear that they did not help him out in that regard, that he will not be a season ticket holder. But it sounds like the package that he's working with is full pause tickets package that he's working with is a really, really good situation. You get a lot of fans out there for that. So
can we
really
talk
cool
about how the Royals were like, under no circumstances could we ever give you tickets for this historic baseball?
That's what I was like. Like, that's not a
never in a million
ask.
Years tickets.
Like, what do you mean?
He didn't ask for season tickets.
No, he did.
I thought he said like
2 season tickets.
Oh, for the whole year. I thought he meant like a pair of tickets for 2 games.
No, 2 season tickets. But that's why I still like, when you think about like where you could put those tickets, like, all right, we'll give you, 2 season tickets, second deck, outfield, whatever. Like he's not asking for 2 tickets behind home plate.
Part of that's got to be that it's not their accomplishment, right? Like that they just are not going to give 2 season tickets to celebrate Raleigh's fucking switch hit record home run. Like and we know how big that is, right? But
and I was thinking to myself, well, is there any way that you could get the Mariners on the hook for the cost of those tickets? Like tell the Mariners, hey, look, this is what I'm trying to do. I would like to get season tickets. I'm not asking for tickets behind home plate. I want just a couple like out in right field or whatever. This is where my family has gone, whatever it may be. And maybe they're like, hey, you know what? We can figure that out. I'm sure the Royals have a Venmo. We might be able to,
and that sounds great now. I know me personally, if I'm standing in like the well, you know what I mean? Like outside of the locker room, and it's like, and I've got Mariners official here, Royals official here, and I'm like, hey, like, can we maybe work out a compensation agreement between the two of you? And can we make sure to get that on paper, by the way, too? And then I'll take that bat, by the way. It's like, I get how at the end of the day, you're like, oh, the bat that he used to hit the homer. Yeah, I would love that. That's autographed. We're getting pictures. We're getting like, I feel good about the trade. Yeah, I think but whatever. You can nitpick on what he did and didn't get. I think that he generally stood up for himself.
He did a fine job.
I think that he had a backbone in the situation and knew what he wanted and took the time to figure it out and wasn't bowled over by whatever. What sounds like an attempt at intimidation by the Royals, if we're just going to call it what it is, by saying you can't get shit for this ball. Like you leave, you're never you leave, you're never coming back. It's like,
that was kind of crazy to hear that they were trying to like almost kill off any thought of him wanting to go and sell the baseball. Like, hey, if you're going to take pictures of it so that it can be identified later when we hook back up, don't you think I could do the same thing to sell the baseball? Right? You understand that, right?
I would say that was probably the only misstep. The only misstep was parting with the baseball for any moment. Like, I'd be like, all right, if you want to show it to him, like, I'll come with you. That's fine.
Yeah, because I mean, once it's in their possession, you're not getting it back. I can tell you that. Like, I can tell you, put it like this. Some teams have folks who may or may not be a part of their security detail who make their way out to the fan who has received the bat and or the ball of that event. Should a bat make it into its stands, or it's obviously mostly the baseball. So yeah, teams are all over it. Teams are all over it. That was just crazy to hear that they were like that staunch in like wanting to prevent that ball from potentially being sold or anything. Like, oh, well, you leave here, you're going to get $5 for it, $10. Like, maybe. Good luck. Oh, okay.
What would you guys do? Because I feel like we're in a unique position where something that we could ask for in return, I feel like a lot of other people, it wouldn't be valuable to them. Like if I caught the ball, I'd be like, like I would want something like content related. Like, how do we turn this into content? Like, I feel like if we texted Cal right now, like he would probably find time to come on the show between now and the playoffs or something, to like talk about like Dallas catching his record-breaking home run ball. Like, I'm sure he would do that.
Sleep over at my house.
Yeah, you're like, you know what, Cal? Like, do you trust Jay? Like, Cal's probably in the discourse. He just probably
Can we
has
do
a
movie
burner.
night, buddy?
Yeah, a movie night with Jayhay. Like, I caught your ball. I'll give it back to you if you watch Field of Dreams with me. Deal?
And please bring one of your jerseys. It can be any one of them.
Yeah. It's like,
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah, if one of us caught, that's exactly what it would be. It would be content related.
yeah. I'd be like,
Yeah.
I would, if I caught Cal Raleigh's record-breaking home run ball, I would be like, let's figure out something that we can do, like maybe during the playoffs or what have you. Like if the Mariners win the World Series, I want to be in the parade with you. I don't give you your ball back. It's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. There you go. Yep.
Yeah, I'm negotiating directly with Cal. Like and the entire Raleigh family, who all look like Cal. I am negotiating with them, not the fucking Royals. I don't want anything from the Royals. Beautiful ballpark, had a great time there. They were wonderful hosts, but there's nothing the Royals I don't think could give me that would entice me to be like, yes, deal.
Well, no, like, yeah, they're just a third party in the matter. Like, they're just there, you know?
Well, it just worked out that Gage was a Royals fan, so it's like, all right, well, we can give you some shit to get this ball back. Also, why does the opposing team even care? So do you remember this story with A-Rod and Poppy?
What?
So I want to say A-Rod passed or tied Willie Mays in home runs at Fenway Park. And A-Rod and Poppy did not get along at the time because A-Rod's agent, I think this was after he fired Boris. Like, so A-Rod was, on his like third or fifth like steroid allegation suspension report, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And A-Rod's agent was like, everyone wants to talk about A-Rod, but there's people who are worshipped like a god in certain cities like Boston that never get anything, blah, blah, blah. So Poppy was like, what the fuck? Like what do I have to do with you being a fuck up? Like, don't drag me into this shit. And so then like Poppy was pissed at A-Rod for his agent saying that. And then A-Rod hit a home run that either tied or passed Willie Mays at Fenway Park. And to negotiate the ball back, because obviously a Red Sox fan caught it, I think the Red Sox used David Ortiz memorabilia to negotiate the ball back. And Poppy was like, no. Like you're not using my shit to get his ball back. Fuck that. So it is kind of always like a bit of a conundrum if like, the opposing team hits a big home run and you have to negotiate with the home team's memorabilia. Like, I don't know. I'm sure. Well, I'm sure Poppy's not the only guy that felt some type of way where it's like, you're not going to use my shit to get his fucking ball back. Well, like, use your own shit.
That's where the player has, like, you have status within the organization, within the franchise, and like, is the team, are they willing to go the extra mile? Like, what would the Mariners be willing to do for Cal if he expressed a serious desire for that baseball and was like, hey, look, I know you guys have the dude who can do it. Like, what are you guys willing to give him? And maybe there comes a point where the Mariners are like, here's what we've offered. We're not really sure that we can do anymore or want to do anymore. This kid wants season tickets. Like, are you willing to write a check to the Royals for season tickets to get your ball back? And it's like, well, I don't know that I personally am willing to. Like, are the Mariners not willing to, though? Like, to do this for me, to share this with me? Like, how do you look at that? I don't know.
It is interesting. If I like say for example, I was at Yankee Stadium, and I caught Aaron Judge's 60 whatever home run. He hit 70. I caught his 70th home run ball. And I'm just in a mob of Yankee fans, but I catch his ball. I mean, the first thing I would think to do is be like, all right, like I'll give you your ball back if you agree to a 1 hour interview for BID. Like that, I wouldn't be like, hey, give me, like, how much do you think that ball would be worth if Aaron Judge hit like a Yankee like, I understand it's not like record breaking, but
74,
he would be
74,
just 70. So it's like, it's the second player ever to hit 70. It's not a record breaker, but there's definitely a Yankee fan with money that would want his 70th home run ball. Like, I could probably get what, $250K for that ball?
Oh, well, for 74?
No, 70.
Oh, I'm sorry.
70. He's just going 70. I think that's a little steep for 70.
74. We'll say he doesn't reach. So 70 becomes far less valuable if he hits 74. Let's say he finishes the season with 71.
Yeah, I still all that ball ultimately is.
Or let's say he finishes the season with just 70. He hits 70 on the last day of the season. It's the 70th home run ball from his 70 home run season. He finishes with 70. Right? How much is that ball worth?
Well, that's where again, because all that really becomes is the most home runs that Aaron Judge has ever hit in a season.
No, that's the second player in big league history. You could even say he's the first clean player to hit 70 home runs.
There would be a lot of people, DB, and not necessarily correctly, but a lot of people saying this is the new home run record.
Well, yes. And so from a collector's perspective, that's where, and this is what you always hear. This is what you know. The only thing or the only price that you can get for something is the price somebody's willing to pay.
Right.
Right. And so that's where, if somebody starts to clamor for that and there becomes this big groundswell to have that ball for that reason, then sure, maybe. But then I think there also, what you have to understand is there's also an established market. And what you would then be doing with that ball is thwarting the market. So now you have people who look at this baseball as, well, no, that's number 73. We all know that. And if that is just 70 and you're dressing it up with, oh, well, it could be, for the first clean 70, but it's like, okay, well, like, show me the authentication sticker for that. Like that's basically, so that's where in a collector's mind, in the collecting world, it's how much do you revere it? And is that the story you lead with when you tell the story about how you came upon ball number 70? I bought it because I believe blah, blah, blah. Okay, there you go. Great. Now, the person who owns 71, I mean, they might look at you and go, that's cute. It's 70, but this is 71. He's the first clean guy to do it twice. That's what makes this ball so much more valuable than that ball. I don't care that it's the first one. Like, you start moving shit around.
I think you're very much underestimating how much an Aaron Judge 70 home run ball in a 70 home run season would go for. Because I do think that people would be like, it's the second 70 home run season ever. It's the 70th of 70. And he would be the first clean player to hit 70. And he's a Yankee and he's Aaron Judge. Like if Brady Anderson hit 70, people would be like, oh, all right. Like I think it's who it is, what he did, who he plays for. And yeah.
Well, those are all perfect storms.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that could be a $500,000 ball.
74 or 70?
70. Why do you keep saying 74? Where the fuck is 74 coming from?
$500,000 for 70 is that's
dude. Ohtani, like all his balls are going for fucking millions.
Buddy, those are just not even comparable.
I understand that Ohtani's star power is greater because he has the entire country of Japan behind him, but I really think you're underestimating the value of Aaron Judge 70th home run ball.
I do. If $500,000 is the number that you're landing on for that, I do not agree with that.
Well, you're a broke bitch. I wouldn't be negotiating with you. I would say there are plenty of very wealthy people in New York City who love the Yankees and love Aaron Judge and love memorabilia. And I think if it went to auction, who the fuck can we ask about this? You know people in the space, Dallas. Who the fuck can we ask?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm telling you what I'm telling you.
Yeah, so like we're gonna call. Well, you don't fucking know. You know people in the space. You're not in the space. If we were to call someone right now and got someone on the phone, Dallas would be like, so if Aaron Judge hit 74 home runs, nope, 70 still. If he hit 74, how much is that ball worth? 70, sir or madam. How much is 70 worth? That would be the conversation. Who can we ask right now that would be able to pick up the phone and tell us?
I'm asking the guy right now. It's 7:00 in the morning back where we're at. You got to respect that. So I'm sending a text.
Wake up. We got important shit to talk about. Time to wake up. Wakey, wakey. I didn't plan for this segment, just like no one plans for hair loss. But through Hims, you can take the next step with confidence. Access treatments made with clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil to stop hair loss and regrow hair in 3 to 6 months. No waiting rooms, no hoops, just ingredients with a track record of results. Hims offers convenience access to a range of prescription hair loss treatments with ingredients that work, like chews, oral medications, serums, and sprays. Doctor-trusted, clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hims brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatments that put your goals first. No hidden fees, no surprise costs, just real personalized care on your schedule. Think of Hims as your digital front door that gets you back to your old self with simple 100% online access to trusted treatments for real health concerns, all in one place. For simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/BID. That's hims.com/BID for your first free visit online. Hims.com/BID. I might call Phil from Sports World right now. Be like, how much do you think? He would have a pretty good idea, no?
Maybe. I mean, Corey would know too, I think, or have an idea. It just depends on how often they're dealing with memorabilia like that, like, balls of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, he's very smart. So when they cut down the net above the green monster, he bought it. They were just going to throw it away. This is like before like the memorabilia game. So he was like, I'll give you, I don't even know how much he paid for it. It wasn't a ton. And he bought the net that was above the green monster and then cut it up into a million pieces, got it all framed and like sold it for like nice little pieces, and probably made a fuck ton off that. He probably still has some.
So
thing was gigantic.
here's Barry's 756. Want to take a shot at how much that sold for?
This was, you have to adjust for inflation here. This is
2007.
2007. That probably sold for like $700K.
$752,000.
Okay, so that's probably what, like almost $2 million.
Aaron Judge's 62nd home run ball. 62nd. You want to know how much that sold for? Take a guess.
Probably like 350.
1.5.
Oh. Let's see. So what do we say? 750? 750 for bonds?
752. $752,467.20.
Well, this inflation calculator sucks.
Either way.
$752,000 in, let's call it November of 2007. In August, in September of 2025, that is $1,159,165. And yeah, so Barry's ball sold for, call it 1.2. But it was also like,
that's home run record.
But people were very like, he was like brought up on perjury charge. Like, it was not like a celebrated thing. You have to, like, I understand we love Barry on this show, but at the time in 2007, like, this man was appearing in court in suits, and shit wasn't good for Barry at the time that the ball was sold. And I remember, what was it? Some dude, it was like a clothing company or something. Like, he's the one that bought the ball and like did like an online poll of what he should do with it, and then he branded it with an asterisk and donated it to the Hall of Fame or some shit. So like, that ball was not heralded, celebrated. Nothing about it was like, man, I really want this piece of history. It was like disgraced at the time.
What a fucking asshole move to put an asterisk on that baseball, by the way.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
I think he put it up to a public vote. Like, it wasn't his own doing.
No, well, no, it is. It is his own doing, because
every bit of his own doing.
He decided to put it up for the vote. Like, that doesn't exist without him opening
doing
that gate. It's a dick move. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a very self-important, like, much like Gage is going to tell the story for the rest of his life. That's a story that dude tells and feels really cool about it.
Yeah, fashion designer and entrepreneur Mark Ecko won the online auction for Barry Bonds' record-breaking 756 home run ball. Ecko then held a public vote to decide the ball's fate and ultimately donated it to the National Baseball Hall of Fame. This leaves out the part where he branded it, though. Yeah, the ball was branded with an asterisk, a symbol reflecting the doping allegations surrounding Bonds, and then donated to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds openly criticized Ecko for his decision to brand the ball with an asterisk. Bonds even stated that he would boycott the Hall of Fame if the ball with the asterisk was displayed there. I've seen it there, so they did. After some initial back and forth, the Hall of Fame ultimately accepted the ball and displayed it. Yeah. Yep. I don't know. I would never do some shit like that.
That's crazy.
No, but you'd also never release an autobiographical business book called Unlabel, Selling You Without Selling Out, which offers advice on entrepreneurship and personal branding. So, not everybody's Mark Ecko,
That's right. Yeah. Well, it is what it is, brother. It is what it is. And you know what? Since it's been such a very eventful week here already with BID, why not just keep it going, Jayhay? Why not?
Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Back-to-back days? We're doing the Baines Meter. Yes, we are. For a second consecutive day, we are celebrating the man, the myth, the legend. And it's JT Realmuto, Phillies catcher, ascending to the ranks of the all-time greats last night. Realmuto entered Club 38.8 in his age 34 season, becoming the first catcher to cross the Baines Meter in his age 34 season or later since Jason Kendall in 2008, 17 years ago, making him, of course, the first catcher we've actually inducted into Club 38.8 and witnessed cross the Baines line. So this is a big one, folks. I know it seems like the list of people that is passing Harold Baines in career wins above replacement never stops. But in fact, this is the first catcher since we've started doing it again in the modern era in 2023 that a catcher has joined the list. He is the 20th player to make it in the modern era and the 10th to do so this season. That is a single season record. He's the third Phillies player just this season to join the club, along with both Trey Turner and Zach Wheeler, who both did so in late June. Congratulations to JT Realmuto, 10th player this season, third Phillies, and first catcher to join Club 38.8.
It's incredible.
JT, I mean, he's a free agent at the end of this year.
Is the deal already up?
Deal's up. And so think about this. Deal's up. Where are we at on whether or not JT Realmuto lived up to, fulfilled the contract or not? 5 years, 115 mil. I don't know that. What's that?
I got an answer to your question.
I think he definitely lived up to it.
I mean, All-Star, MVP, top 10 finish, Gold Glove, Silver Slugger.
Yeah. What was the WAR over the life of the deal, Jayhay? I'm sure you already have
19.1.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. For ages, season, what through what?
30 to 34.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
And now he's a free agent at 34. I mean, with an opportunity to get himself a nice little small chunk on the way out.
I mean, you guys answered the question. He's been in my opinion, an unequivocal it's both shocking and not shocking because the style of his game, there's nothing like shocking about the way JT Realmuto plays. But I actually think if we step back and realize how well he has aged and how well the contract worked for Philadelphia, it's borderline stunning, I think, just given the age curves of catchers and even a little bit of how his season looked at the beginning of this year. It is like, is this just kind of it? And then it very much was not. And this doesn't even include the contract being worth it or not. Doesn't even include the first 2 years of his Phillies tenure, or one of those being 2020, so season and a half, where he was outstanding and maybe played his best baseball or some of his best baseball as a Philly. Since 21, he's been the third best catcher in Major League Baseball by wins above replacement, behind Raleigh and Will Smith. So I think there's no question about the value that the Phillies have gotten out of this. And he's not going to the Hall of Fame for real, but I think that he's, there are parallels with him and Jason Kendall, I think, as being, star level players in their era who maybe weren't necessarily viewed as star level players, more just very good, but he's really been that good.
Yeah. I remember when JT Realmuto was about to hit free agency, and there's no one campaigning harder for his return to Philly than Bryce Harper. Mm-hmm. He was very adamant that this is a guy that we absolutely need. It'll be interesting because Schwarber is a free agent at the end of the year. I think a lot of people feel like he's not going anywhere. But do the Phillies lose a piece of their identity if Realmuto does not return?
Yes. Yes, they do. And I believe that this, I would want to believe, and this is where, look, JT, I think, would maybe have an opportunity here to play a big role in keeping the band together, should he want to. And unfortunately, that's probably going to come with him taking a little bit of a haircut with what a next 3-year deal could offer him or whatever that might be. But I think that's with him keeping in mind, if you can do this for us, we know that we might be in a position to bring back a Kyle Schwarber. And I know you understand how valuable that can be as well. How do we make this all work, JT? What do you need from us to stay here? I think that's a way that you got to approach this. You know what you're willing to do for Philadelphia. You probably have a hard line at some point in time when it comes to his services and what you think he's going to give you over the next 3. And if that's the case, understood. But is there an understanding of how important he is, and there should be a willingness to want to keep him a part of this fold? I think this is a guy that you have to try to keep.
I would imagine that there will be mutual interest, especially when you have someone like Bryce Harper, who's the heartbeat of the Philadelphia Phillies, advocating for the importance. And you know what? At the end of the day, as far as baseball executives go, I would say Dave Dombrowski is probably number one in terms of having feel for the inner workings of a major league clubhouse. Like a guy that he's not just looking at wins above replacement and statistics in general and saying we built the best baseball team that we can build because we put this algorithm into the computer and it spits out that this is a winning model. I've heard from many guys who have played on Dave Dombrowski teams that it's like, yeah, like this guy's in the clubhouse, like he's talking to people, like he's not behind the scenes, he's there, he has a feel for it. Like he understands like what needs to go into the mix of a winning team. And I know that, you know, he's got 2018 and he has a lot of other teams that were like really good but never quite got over the hump. But those really good teams also had great chemistry. Like it was almost just like for example, the 2013, 2014
like
Detroit Tigers. Like if you simulate those seasons 100 times, like you're not walking away with 0 World Series titles. Like, can we agree on that?
Yeah, you'd like to think so. Anyway.
So yeah, I mean it's all up to chance at a certain point. But yeah, he gets it.
We have an update and my partner said his 62nd to break Maris's AL record a few years ago went for 1.5. Said if he was to hit 70, maybe up to 500K.
Jayhay,
maybe. And I said about 100K. 500K seems a lot for an insignificant number. And he said exactly what I said, you know, whatever someone's willing to pay. And that's where we got into the conversation about the who and the what and the why and the blah, 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 you know, the details of it. But yeah, so up to, sure.
Yeah. See, like you're not obviously getting that on the spot. Like, is there an example of a major league player who paid for his own baseball? I feel like that's never happened.
I don't know. Like,
I can't recall that ever happening. It's either you go to auction, you make your money there, or if it's negotiated the night of, then you're getting memorabilia. Like I've never seen money exchanged for like a milestone baseball on the spot.
Yeah, no, not on the spot. Fuck, no, I didn't know. Yeah, no, I didn't know that's what you were asking.
Even afterwards.
Yeah. No,
Is there a guy that you think would have, like, if they, you know, hit broke the single season home run record? Is there a guy that you think would have? I bet you, and it's not like an egotistical thing. I think it's just because A, he's got money to spend, and B, he is a memorabilia collector. Josh Donaldson would pay for his 74th home run ball. I do believe that. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. That's more than a fair assessment.
Yeah.
I mean, we both thought of the same guy.
We had him on the pod. He sounded like he was going to be ready to pay back or pay up for the MVP I took from him.
Yeah. I think he would buy it just because he would look at it as an investment of like, someday this could be worth more money.
Yeah, that's where the purchasing of like any sort of judge memorabilia when it comes to like historical marks, like that's where the numbers can start to go crazy. And that's what happens. That's why, like, I always go back to what Matt Strom said about Pikachu and Charizard. Like, Pikachu's not getting a DUI. Charizard is not going to prison for some extremely crazy stuff. So their markets are probably fairly stable and fairly predictable for the foreseeable future. Mm-hmm. And I think Aaron Judge is about as close as you can get to a human version of Charizard and Pikachu. Like you're like market pretty good, probably going to be pretty stable for a long time. Yeah. And as he just continues to do crazy stuff in our game, those numbers will continue to skyrocket, continue to get bigger. So, I always think that's why memorabilia is just such a. I was baffled when I first started to get into it on at the level that I am now, because you realize how much of a market there is for stuff and how competitive it is compared to, gross domestic product.
So
it's real.
Say you had Aaron Judge money, Dallas.
Buying an island, and I'm telling you all to fuck off. That is just always the play. Always.
If you hit 74, I think I am prepared to offer that dude $500K. I'll be the first person to offer money on the spot to a person who caught my ball. You're getting $500K directly from Aaron Judge. And who the fuck, average Joe is turning down $500,000 cash. So if you want, you can keep the baseball, or you now have an item that you could turn and sell on auction for what? $1.5 million, $2 million?
Quite a bit. Yeah. Especially like if you're like, if he was willing to sell it as himself too, right? Like, hey, I'm selling my ball.
Right.
What? I'm buying this. Who am I buying this from?
It's like, you buy this ball from Aaron Judge, and as part of the deal, sweeten the pot. Like I'll personally deliver it to your house.
Yeah, for another $150K.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hell of an investment. More players should do that.
That's a Judge meet and greet.
Yeah, buy your own memorabilia and fucking flip it. Or keep it. Do whatever you want. All this Cal Raleigh talk. I know that we're gonna, and Aaron Judge talk, like we're gonna have plenty of MVP discussion in November. But it's the Mariners have won 10 straight baseball games. So is this not kind of like what we said the Mariners would need to do for Cal to overtake Judge? Like, isn't exactly what we said would need to happen? Is it not happening right now where Cal Raleigh passes Mickey Mantle, the Mariners haul off 10 straight victories. They're clinging to a half-game lead, but they are in first place. And it is because this 10-game winning streak. So say the Mariners hold on and win the division, and Cal hits 60. Oh, he's 4 away. Is he not the MVP?
Buddy, you're talking to the dude who wrote the script. Like, this is exactly. I mean, we all had pieces of our brain going down this road, right? I came at it from the pitching perspective, and then I posed the question a couple weeks ago that said, if Cal Raleigh goes on a tear and Cal Raleigh is leading this team into the postseason and they fuck around and win the division, how can you look at what Cal Raleigh has done and identify a more valuable piece to a different puzzle? How do you do that? And that's where we just always immediately revert back to, okay, are you valuing just the overall production, or is there room for caveats? Is there room for nuance in this conversation? Because there's no way that you can have a guy who breaks, ties, breaks, reestablishes the home run record for a switch hitter in a season where this team has done what they have done, and he has been head and shoulders the catalyst offensively for what they have done. And he's catching. The demand that he has on his plate is just different from anybody else that plays baseball. His position, it's just different. And he's producing at a otherworldly clip. Yes, this is your MVP.
What's interesting about this is that, and I'm not going to name specific sources, but the betting markets generally don't agree. Like, and I'm not saying that means that is the end of the MVP conversation, but in terms of the specific question, like the Mariners have done what we on this podcast named that they would do or would have to do, 10 straight, etc. And like I'm seeing Aaron Judge at like minus 900 and Cal Raleigh at like plus 500 to win the AL MVP. And like we're kind of running out of time for those numbers to change meaningfully, it feels like. So I'm not disputing anything you're saying. I'm just noting that if that does end up playing out, there's going to be a corner of the industry that is like utterly shocked that happens, I think. And I get how betting markets work and all that sort of stuff, that it's, you know, the money out the door is factoring into what the odds are. But I would have thought, given what we know about where the stats are, wins above replacement, the Mariners' trajectory, all that kind of stuff, that those would have gotten a lot tighter in the last 2 weeks. And that's just not the case.
That's what's crazy to me, is that there would be such a gap still. But I do believe that that's where, as much as we battle and have the conversations about, you know, defining the V in your MVP, for me, having the market support that a player has when they wear the Yankee pinstripes, that is a significant impact. And when you are doing what Aaron Judge is doing, like this is where it's tough, because you almost feel ignorant trying to argue against what Aaron Judge is doing right now, because he leads the free world in everything, offense, right? Like just everything. And so now you're asking yourself to ignore, or not overlook, but maybe set aside all of that and try to factor in the demand of a position and the side of the game that we all understand has had a tough time being expressed statistically, which is defensive value. And you can't quantify what it means for the pitching staff to have the faith and the trust that they do, and what he represents when he's back there behind the plate. You just can't quantify that. And we try to do our best with catcher ERA and things of that nature, but there's a real presence factor there. And that is something that also matters. And if it's a team that is, and this is where the storybook aspect comes into play, if a team is making the run that they're making, and Cal Raleigh has been as big a part of it as he has been, then do you get any points for like the recency bias? Like, hey, Aaron Judge has done it all year, but Cal Raleigh doing it right now in the most important time to get his team where they need to be. Like, is there no value in that?
But the pitching staff thing is part of like, and this is, I'll call it like double nuance. And this is why this conversation like never gets old to me. Raleigh versus Judge is like, you're saying, doesn't he get credit for the confidence that the pitchers have and all of that stuff that you can't quantify? Agree. Yes. But like, we can't have it both ways in a sense too, because all we've talked about this Mariners pitching staff is how awesome the pitchers are, right? Mm-hmm. And that was before Cal Raleigh was being heralded in the same way that he's being right now as this master guider of the pitching staff. And in fact, if we talked about this before, if we compare what our expectations were for the Mariners starting pitchers before the season versus what they've done to this point, I don't think anybody can credibly make the case that they have vastly overachieved or even overachieved at all. So like, this isn't a sad sack of pitchers that Cal Raleigh has dragged through the regular season to results that nobody expected. It's the rotation that pretty much most people identified as the best in the AL, if not the best in all of Major League Baseball. And they're still very good, but there's no like, and it's not me disputing what you're saying. It's saying that like, yes, we can't quantify it, but also like it's tough to separate the pitcher from the catcher and who gets that influence, particularly when we're dealing with pitchers that are established and really, really good, as in the case of a lot of these guys.
I was more curious, Jayhay, because, all right, 2-part question. So when I say the Mariners have won 10 straight games, Cal Raleigh is in the thick of it. And the Mariners, if they hold on, win the AL West, and the Yankees fall short of winning the AL East. Didn't we kind of say that it's not that it doesn't matter, but it's like that's like the last thing that we look at. Well, it's almost like you look at all the statistics between the two players, and then if it's really that close, then we look at stuff like that. So statistically, is it close enough to where you would look at stuff like that as the deciding factor? Because I feel like when Mike Trout was winning MVPs and Shohei was winning MVPs on these awful Angel teams, we kind of moved away from like, well, what about the player that got their team to first place? Like it was more like that was like at the bottom of the list of deciding factors.
I know that the nature of argument in 2025, sports or otherwise, is more black and white, and your side is wrong, whatever. But like, I do feel like that there's almost a part of the dialogue where it's like, well, you think Cal Raleigh's MVP? What are you, an idiot? Aaron Judge's OPS is almost 200 points higher, and obviously I know that. And then the other side's like, wait, you think Aaron Judge is the MVP? Dude, Cal Raleigh's a catcher. He just broke Mickey Mantle's switch hitter record. Like, what is wrong with you? Aaron Judge, I saw somebody refer to Aaron Judge as a Wagyu cow today, in that he's just constantly massaged and everything is to maximize his possible. I'm like, what are we doing? Somebody referred to him as a glorified Jim Thome. I was like, what does that mean? Like, what? Jim Thome is 8th all time in homers. He's in the Hall of Fame. What does that mean? Glorified.
I feel like any type of Jim Thome comp is not to be taken as an insult.
That guy's getting ratioed to hell, by the way. So good luck to him. But but I guess, so stepping back and that ran aside your actual question, I fundamentally believe, as a stats guy and a baseball fan, that this is a very close MVP race. And that is where I'm at right now. And I do think other things will end up factoring in, because I don't think that you can just look at Aaron Judge's raw OPS or his OPS plus adjusted for context and all of that and say that he is definitively the MVP. I still may vote for him in my ballot that doesn't exist, but I think that's part of why it's such an incredible. Last year's was a great MVP race because you had Judge and Witt, and Bobby Witt, frankly, I think was putting up a season that would deserve the AL MVP this year if it was just him and there was no Aaron Judge. Like, that was on a lot of levels a historic season that surpasses anything we're seeing this year. But the nature of the catcher versus a guy perceived to be mostly offense only, even though he does in fact play defense, and the pitching staff element and the Mariners surging at the right time. And it has the potential to be one of the most fascinating, genuine MVP debates that we've had since we've been doing the podcast, at the very least.
Well, you know what I'd be interested in to think about?
But based on your research that you've done in these off-season segments, is there an MVP race that you can compare it to?
In terms of like what the voting results were, or
in terms of like your research being like the 1 and 2 could go either way. Like, you can make a strong case for reasons X, Y, and Z here, and a strong reasons for ABC here.
Go ahead, Dick.
What I was going to say is these two players, Aaron Judge is going to finish with, and this is just a base level entry conversation point here. Aaron Judge will likely finish with 2 wins more worth value B-WAR than Cal Raleigh will, just for starters. So when you start to go through and you're looking at these MVP races and you're looking at these numbers, and you would see a guy, hold on, okay, 8.5 wins. This guy's 6.5 wins. I'm not sure. Well, hold on, what? So the guy with 6.5 wins, that guy won the MVP? Let me dig in here. Like, that's, I think, where you might start. And if that is in fact the case, that's where this thing is going to end up, right? I mean, whether or not they squeak another half a win or another full win worth of production out in the next 10 days or so.
I think I got it. I think I got it. The 1976 MVP race.
Okay.
So Thurman Munson, as a catcher, he won the MVP with a 5.3 WAR and George Brett finished second with a 7.5 WAR. Just
yeah,
pulled
that's
that
not
out of my
bad.
ass.
It's funny looking at these OPSs too and comparing them to what we're dealing with right now. Munson won with a 769 OPS.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's where you start to, and how you start to think about context of the situation, right? The team situation, how voting was going back then, who Thurman Munson was compared to who George Brett was in the media's eye, blah, 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 blah,
blah. This is an imperfect answer for sure. Maybe not as good as your answer even, but I see parallels to the Altuve Judge thing as well, because and that's easy because Aaron Judge is half of the equation in both of them. But there was a similar. Obviously, Altuve is not a catcher, but there was he's bringing more defensive element to it. There was the narrative on the Astros was obviously much different in 2017 than it is right now, or in the aftermath of that. Altuve was being attached to that winning in a way that's not totally dissimilar to what Cal Raleigh is being attached to right now. And the wins above replacement numbers, despite the different ways that they were going about their business, the wins above replacement numbers for Altuve Judge were very, very similar as well. So like you could kind of hang your hat on whatever you wanted to in that MVP race. And I feel like there's an element of that as well. In terms of the vitriol that I'm seeing a little bit from both sides, not that it bothers me, but just it reminds me a little bit of the Miggy Trout stuff, which didn't end up being close in the actual voting. And maybe this won't be either. But that did feel like there were two sides that like intellectually understood the Trout Miggy ends of the MVP debate, but were ultimately talking past each other when having the conversations. And I feel like we're getting to that point a little bit with Raleigh and Judge as well. So those would be my off the cuff answers. In terms of
the Trout Miggy is where my brain went because of the Triple Crown, right? Like just everything that was involved in it.
Well, no, you're right though, because the Triple Crown, there is a parallel between like the Triple Crown and Cal Raleigh having the most homers for switch hitter Mariners history, right? Like you kind of combined all of those, and it's the same sort of thing, which is these accomplishments are fucking awesome. I want to memorialize or commemorate every single one of these things, and all of them should be remembered. But there's also an element of it where it's like, it's the definition of arbitrary, right? It's like, yes, it's the Triple Crown, but it's like, it's just these three stats. And like, we're not even paying attention to these other stats that Trout is like better than Mickey in, that are like more important. And it's like,
and so to the point of like back to the whole auction conversation, I think where this whole mess started that we find ourselves in right now is you find the right dude who values that with the right paycheck or the right checkbook, and there you go. Right there you go. The ball has found its home. But yeah, in that year, Mike Trout, 10.5 wins. Or 10.5 wins in 2012. Miguel Cabrera, 7.1.
Not to relitigate the 2012 the Triple Crown MVP year for Miggy, but I'm actually surprised in hindsight that it was as much of a debate as it was. Like I'm surprised Miggy didn't just swallow that whole conversation up, because I remember it being like people were like mad that Trout wasn't going to win. And I understand that. I'm even surprised it got that far.
Well, I said there's no way, like this is what he'll have to do to win the MVP. He will have to win the Triple Crown, and he did, and he won the MVP. Yeah. So yeah, fucking 44 homers, 139 RBIs. Yeah.
Good times. Speaking of data, man, you don't want to lose your personal data. Yeah, that is it's a bad thing to happen to anybody. I've had it happen to me. I'm sure it's happened to Dallas. He probably just hasn't noticed, but it has happened to me, and it's not good. You don't want to lose your data or have someone breach it. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. Data brokers make a profit off of your data. Your data is a commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details. This can lead to theft, phishing attempts, and harassment, but now you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. What do data brokers do? Your name, contact info, social security number, home address, even information about your family members could all be compiled by data brokers and sold online. The New York Times Wirecutter has named Delete Me their top pick for data removal services. As someone who has had their data online compromised, let me just tell you, you do not want this to happen to you. Be proactive about it. Don't wait until it happens for the first time and then do something about it. I would suggest doing something about it right now. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for the BID listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/BID and use the promo code BID at checkout. That's the only way to get 20% off. Is to go to joindeleteme.com/BID and enter promo code BID at checkout. That is joindeleteme.com/BID, promo code BID. Shohei, you want to give him a tongue bath at all?
Deserves one. You kidding me?
I feel like he does, but like I feel like he's constantly like some level of moist, from the last one. Like he never goes too long in between tongue baths is what I'm saying.
That's what happens when you're the greatest living baseball anything. Like that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm not saying that we got to skip it. I'm just saying. But I mean, yes, look, he gets a lot of tongue baths is all.
He does, but he deserves it because what did he do last night? 5
Did not
no-hit
give up
innings.
a hit. Yeah.
5 no-hit innings. I mean, the first guy with
can't believe they took him out.
Yeah, right. First guy with back-to-back 50 homer seasons since A-Rod in 01-02. First guy with 50 homers and 50 strikeouts in a season since Ruth in 21. The fastball's there. Like what else? I don't know. What else can you say about what this dude is doing right now, aside from everything that we've always said about what he's doing and how important it is for the Dodgers' success? This couldn't be happening at a better time for the Dodgers, straight up. To have Ohtani looking the way he does on the mound, this could not be happening at a better time. We had questions about how they were going to potentially deploy Ohtani. That was with the idea of health in mind. With their rotation. Obviously, that has changed. And now you have a guy who is seemingly hitting a stride at just the right point of the season. That is everything that you could be asking for because the Dodgers, well, even in a ball game where Ohtani did awesome Ohtani stuff, figured out a way to lose the ball game. And the bullpen has been less than ideal for the Dodgers here as of late. Since July 17th, the Dodgers are 13th overall ERA, so a little under the middle of the pack, median, 4.11 ERA. In the 8th inning, specifically, that ERA goes to 4.25. That's 18th. And then in the 9th inning, that ERA jumps up a little more, 4.72. That's 22nd overall. And this is an extremely small sample size, quite literally an inning and a third of relief. The pin ERA over 20. And that's an extra innings. But the bottom line is they're going to need to do a lot better in that area. But with Ohtani on the mound, starting, giving them this kind of performance, I think that helps put them in a position where the bullpen might not have to do as much heavy lifting if you can account for 5-6 innings worth of Ohtani on the
mound. Unless you had something to add, Jayhay, I want to make a statement. No? Congratulations to the American League East champion, Toronto Blue Jays. That's over.
It's over.
6 straight wins. They're up 5 with 12 to go. It's over. Yeah, shout out to the Gate 14 boys. It's been fun to watch the Jays fans, the content creators out there, like Jordan, Johnny, like all these people that they live, breathe, die Toronto Blue Jays baseball. I'm not being sarcastic. Like, it's genuinely been cool to watch like the diehard Jays fans that I know on social media get to live out this season. And like, I was kind of like where I am with the Red Sox, I'm comfortable just getting in. Like, as pathetic as that sounds, I had maybe one moment of like, let's go get the division, but then that faded within a week, probably less. So it's been 98%. I'm just happy to get in. And that's where we're at. Now we're fighting for our playoff lives, which is pathetic in its own right without Roman Anthony. Shut the fuck up, Dallas. It's not because you're not a good team. You suck. It's just we're very hurt. We don't have Willier. We don't have Roman. Bregman's been slumping.
That's not what anybody in baseball says.
No, Alex Cora has been like, we need to stop talking about the playoffs because we're probably not going. But
you saw what happened. Saw what happened in Sac.
Yeah, you got diced up by Connolly early. Your team sucks, Dallas. You're a fucking awful team. How'd that ball game go? You won and got eliminated from the playoffs. That's how bad you are.
Lost that game.
I digress.
Lost that game.
Congratulations to the Toronto Blue Jays, American League's champs. That fan base deserves it. How many off seasons did we spend on this exact show saying, will somebody please sign with the Toronto Blue Jays? Will every top free agent stop over the pants hand jobbing the Toronto Blue Jays? It's really sad to see, and so it's nice to get a big win for them, being American League East champions. We'll see how the October run goes, but I will say Toronto, that's one of the last places you want to be as an opposing team in terms of environment. It gets real loud there. Those are hockey fans with nothing to do this time of year.
They got to get Bo back.
I mean, that's fine. Like, I agree, but it's not slowing them down right now. They've won 6 straight, but they've got their diehard Blue Jay fans contingency. And then they've got we just love Toronto sports. We're hockey fans, but we're not like, it's not like the thick of hockey season yet. You combine those two forces, and then you turn the Rogers Center in one of the most hostile environments that you could imagine in the postseason. So looking forward to October baseball in Toronto. My last thought before we get out of here, because we got to get ready. It's Section 10 night at Fenway Park. We're going to be it's basically going to be an 8-hour meet and greet. Like, I'm exhausted thinking about it. So like last year, I think we sold 2,500 tickets, and it was a meet and greet from 2 p.m. at the House of Blues till the final out of the game. So about 8.5 hours. And we sold 5,000 tickets this time. So it's twice the amount of people. There's no fucking way. I feel awful. Like, I'm not going to be able to say hi and thank you to every single person who got a ticket and is coming, because it's double the amount. And I already know what that looks like at half the amount last year. Going to do my best. But that event is tonight. Very excited for it. The last thing I wanted to hit on, are we ready to acknowledge that we may not see Yordan Alvarez until spring training?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they'll do whatever they can to get him up to the plate, but that's his left ankle. That's his backside. We're talking about weight transfer. We're talking about being able to load up on that backside and then actually get that backside moving. That is going to be tough. Because if you get him up there and he's even a shade of who he is, you think about compromising his swing. There's not going to be a ton of power behind it. Like, it would be the way that looked. I mean, he is standing on home plate with his ankle.
Yeah, not good. Yeah, the second I saw that last report, I was like, see you next year, buddy.
Yeah.
Not good. Jayhay, award-winning Nuggs?
Yes, thank you for asking.
Of course.
So Cal Raleigh was obviously the star, and rightfully so. Did you see that somebody else hit 3 homers in the game?
No.
Wait, you didn't?
No, I was atop the monster, so
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It was like a rhetorical question, but now I'm guessing that you actually...
I was away from my perch.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
My post.
Yeah. Dominic Canzone hit 3 homers in that same game last night. 5 for 5, 3 homers, 4 runs. He's just the second Mariner with 5 hits and 3 homers in a game. A guy named Mickey Brantley, September 14th,
Are you disrespecting the Brant man?
No. Of course
the Mick?
His 14 total bases were the second most in a single game in franchise history. Obviously, Mike Cameron's 16 total bases on 4 homers from May 2nd of 2002. And continuing on, the gap. So I was going to bring this up in the conversation, but I just saved it for Nuggs since we were vibing. But context. The gap between Aaron Judge's OPS and Cal Raleigh's OPS this season is the same as the gap between Cal Raleigh's OPS and Zach McKinstry's. So not exactly directly comparable, but we know why that is. Wyatt Langford is the second player aged 23 or younger to reach 20 homers and 20 stolen bases this season, along with Pete Crow Armstrong. Interestingly enough, 7 players aged 23 or younger reached 2020 last season. Abrams, Carroll, Churio, De La Cruz, Henderson, Neto, and Julio Rodriguez. So some catching up to do there. Cade Horton continued his blistering run. I saw one of my Cubs fans' friends, Sean, sent me a graphic today where his stats, not innings pitched necessarily, but his rate stats are nearly identical to Jake Arrieta's famous second half. Fun what Cade Horton's doing. If you look at pitchers since integration, to allow no more than 6 runs over an 11-start stretch within a single season. The only pitchers to do that are Horton this year, Snell in 23, Chris Sale in 18, and Bob Gibson in 1968. Zebby Matthews is the first Twins pitcher to have multiple starts in his career as a Twin, where he allowed 9 runs in 3 or fewer innings pitched. It's very early in the Zebby Matthews career, too. So chance to add more of these starts, or maybe not. Maybe there's a limit to how many of these starts you can have. Eric Milton was the last Twins pitcher to do that in 2000 to 2002. We all remember the Eric Milton homer binge of that era. Really got worse when he moved to Cincinnati, though. That was kind of a tough fit. That's, as an aside here, that's like a funny pre-sabermetric free agent signing where Eric Milton, like one of the most extreme fly ball pitchers in all of baseball, was signed to go pitch at the Great American Ballpark. And people were like, oh, it didn't work. It was like, I think we know why, actually. Know why it didn't work. And lastly, Paul Skeens suffered. It was not a good start. So we won't mince any words about it. It was not a hard luck start for Paul Skeens. The Cubs got to him and he was out early. But it was his 10th loss of the season, and it raised his ERA to 2.03. That would be the lowest in a season featuring 10 or more losses since Kevin Brown went 17-11 with a 1.89 ERA for the Marlins in 1996. And those are the Nuggs.
Thank you, Justin Havens. Appreciate you.
Always.
Dallas, do you have any final thoughts before we both head to Fenway Park for a big celebration tonight?
No, it's tough. I know Jake was really looking forward to dropping that sweep video. Sorry that can't happen. Looks like he made an adjustment, though, on the graphic. That was cute. We'll see you at the end of this thing. That's all I got to say.
I mean, you haven't won the series or anything. Like, you could still very much end up victimized on the catch-up graphic again.
That's coming. We're going to win the series, buddy. What? We very well may sweep you right out of this, motherfucker. Yeah. That could be tough. When we're sitting at the end of the year and you're looking at how many games you missed the playoffs by, and you're like, where can we track this back to?
Kind of sounds like a jersey bet.
Buddy, you don't. Where do you want to do? Who are you talking to?
I mean, I'm talking to a guy who doesn't pay up on his jersey bets. That's who I'm talking to.
Tell me. We already got one in the hopper, but what do you need?
What do you mean one in the hopper? You won the first game?
Yeah, game one's already done.
You meant I already owe you one. What's another one?
No.
Red Sox still win the series, maybe?
What do you think? Is that really where you want to go? I mean, that just seems so small and trivial. I mean, that's just giving me a jersey. I can't
be like, oh, they're gonna sweep. They lost the first fucking game. What are we talking about?
Well, I know.
All right, I'll do Red Sox still win the series for a jersey bet.
Buddy, you don't want to do that.
No, I just did. I'm out. It sounds like you don't because you're stalling.
Oh no! I'm not. I mean, I would be all in. The problem I have betting with you about a jersey is that you I actually send them to you even when I don't lose. I still send you jerseys. No, I just don't know that you can be trusted. I don't know that I can put that on the line and expect.
Imagine being a crackhead going to your dealer that you've robbed blind several times, being like, I don't know if I can trust you to give me these drugs for free. I don't know if I can trust you. Like, do you hear yourself?
I mean, it's real addict talk is what it is.
It really is. Like
yeah.
Dallas, you have owed me a jersey for a year. And I paid up on a jersey bet that I didn't even lose. So you're telling me that I'm not trustworthy?
I'm not telling you that you're not trustworthy. I'm telling you I'm not sure that I can trust you to pay up.
I don't think you can trust your ATM to produce dollars.
Based on some of the things that you said in the recent past.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a man of integrity. So, I still got the Red Sox winning the series jersey bet on the table. It doesn't sound like Dallas is accepting the jersey bet.
Oh, I'm fully accepting the jersey bet.
No, I'm
of course you are.
Accepting, please. No, I'm accepting.
Fully accepting.
All right. All right. So then you'll owe me two.
Yeah, well, I don't know where you get the first one, but yeah, I mean, this would sure.
There's no expiration. You can't just wait out a jersey bet.
Statute of limitations on paying out.
Yeah, there's no you can't just be like, oh, that was 2 years ago. Let's move on. No.
Hey, I'm still very much holding the PlayStation gate against you. That's just how
That is just not how that works. I don't believe the two. What are you holding against me? You willingly.
I gave you a PlayStation.
You willingly sent me a PlayStation
so that we could
6 years ago.
So that we can
that I haven't
video games
that I haven't installed in my new home, and 4 years after you gave it to me.
You never even turned
because of that. I'm not. Yes, I have.
Turned it on.
In my Saugus apartment, I played GTA all the time. Ask Silva. We played all the time.
So you were playing games all the time, just couldn't quite figure out MLB The Show. Just content. Here we go. We can start streaming.
I don't want to play MLB The Show. I'm not good at it. You want to play because you're good. This is where the addiction part comes in. You want the rush. You sent me you're such an addict that you sent me a PlayStation just so that you could get the rush of just dominating someone in the game that you play all the time. I never play it. So of course I'm going to be bad.
I could have got that online too, but
it doesn't hit the same. You would get more of a gratification. You would get more validation from our audience for beating me than beating an 11-year-old in Pasadena.
Well, yeah. I mean, trust me. Once the headset goes on when I get home this offseason and I start smacking kids in Madden, that's where my outlet comes in. If I've been a little hostile these last 2 weeks, just know it's because I have Madden at my disposal.
No more than usual.
I do not have a headset yet. What? What'd you say?
What? I think my headphones disconnected.
I'm going to see you in mere moments.
of all nights to threaten violence against me, this would be like the movie 300. You would be dead in seconds.
No.
Yeah. All right. So Jersey bet. Red Sox win the series, and I get. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what jersey.
What jersey do you want?
Doesn't matter.
You know what?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, what jersey? What jersey could I? You know, I want a Reggie Jackson jersey.
A Yankee jersey?
The fuck?
Oh, an A's jersey. Okay. The fuck? All right, I'll have to think about the jersey that I'm never going to receive when the Red Sox win the next two.
Oh no, I want a catfish. That's what I want.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they make them, I don't know. I'll find someone, I guess, who does, but
yeah.
Sure.
Well, you just throw a 27 Hunter on there. You'll be good.
I love how it's even odds, even though they lost the first game. Like, I should definitely get 2 jerseys for this.
We've already talked about it, but you established the line here.
I don't care. I accepted the terms. It's just, you're just, I'll think about the jersey that you're not going to send.
Oh, here we go. See what I mean? Untrustworthy.
Why? What? That doesn't make me.
You're part of the discourse too, aren't you? You probably moonlight as one of these discourse fights.
That does not make me untrustworthy. That's me telling you that based on concrete evidence, you are not trustworthy when it comes to jersey bets. You
have I cheated you out of the jersey yet?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
It's been a year. A year of my life has gone by. Dallas, if I died and you would have to come to my funeral and place the Dontrell Willis jersey in my casket at this point.
I was going to say I could do you one better, but I could bury you in it.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like that.
All right, so you've just laid it out. See, I can never cheat you out of this jersey. Do you understand what just happened?
I will have to accept this jersey posthumously. Is that what it's called?
Posthumous.
Posthumously?
Posthumously. Yeah.
Every time I see that word, I'm like, that doesn't sound like what it should be. Right? Like it should be like humaniously. Humaniously. Posthumously? What's the word?
Posthumous.
Post-hospice. What's the word? What's the word? Post-hospicely?
Posthumous.
Stop it. You're going to fucking...
Posthumously. Is that the word?
He's going to lose it in no time. I'm not going to say it. He's going to lose it in no time.
Again.
Posthumously.
No.
Posthumously. I think I'm saying it right, and you're just fucking with me. Is it post-hospice? I'll get it after I die. Yeah, that word sucks. There's a lot of words that I struggle with, but that one.
Oh my God.
That one, if you think about how, like, breaking it down, it doesn't make sense, right? Like, break that down.
Break that down. Oh man, that was fucking incredible.
Posthumously.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yes,
posthumously.
You had said you had got it earlier, but I had to get you back off track because it was just too good.
Got it.
You said posthumously.
It's one of those words that makes perfect sense with the Latin word.
Yeah,
break it down.
It's after ground. After ground.
After ground?
Yeah, like you're
so after in the ground.
It should be after life. Like after life has been experienced to its fullest extent.
Post vita.
Yeah, like what is life in Latin? It is vita, you're right. That's weird.
Buddy, fucking e pluribus unum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. No doubt. All right. We got to get the fuck out of here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow early. Are we doing to Fenway tomorrow? What's the plan?
Someone let me know, please. I beg.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. There's a chance. We've been talking about this for fucking days. Obviously, a lot of this is just Dallas not cooperating. We might be able to do the podcast tomorrow together at Fenway. That'd be cool. If not, then it'll just be the usual. Anyways. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.